Hello my friends, today we are jumping in and playing with the Wildflower Wreath Press and Foil plates with LDRS Creative. Now this is a bundle that comes with the press plates and the stencil set, which we will be stenciling here in the video. We are going to make a complete card together, and I'm going to show you some tips and ideas on how to use the dip and dab ink pouncers with your stencils. But first, let's go ahead and BetterPress our press plate. I've got my BetterPress here from Spellbinders, and to fit this into an A2 size card, I've already got my BetterPress paper here. I would be using LDRS Creative watercolor card, but I was out of it. I'm completely out. I've used it all up. So we are going to be using BetterPress paper, which is actually great because I'm not even doing watercoloring today. So that's perfect. But anyways, if you use this press plate, you have to remember you want to do the mirror image of what you're going to want. So if you want your wreath this way on your paper, then you need to press it this way. So that's what I'm thinking here. But when you lay this down, if you want your sentiment to fit in here, it's kind of like, whoa, you know, it's outside the registration here, showing you where your A2 card is. So I finagled it a little bit, and I want to show you what I found. So if you rotate this a little to where these two petals right here line up with this line, and remember, this line is where your cardstock is going to fall. So that gives you a perfect indication of where you're at. Then your sentiment will fit right in here. And you can make sure it's lined up perfectly. Let me eyeball it here with the magnet. And that should come out. Let me bring it up a little closer so you can see where you're inside the line here, and you're inside the line here, and your sentiment is nestled. And I love a nestled sentiment. Nestled inside your wreath, which is what the look I'm going for. So I wanted to show you all that little trick just by tilting this a little bit. You're going to have this coming down and that going up. So now I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to go with gray. This is called Alloy with the LDRS ink, and I'm going to ink this up. This is a hybrid ink. It works very well with the press plates, and I'm going to ink this up, and we're going to run it through, and it's going to just give it a softer feel to your press plate than the norm of going with your, jet black. And then I'll use my rag just to get any excess that I see here. Just the stuff that's on, the far out areas. It really doesn't look like that much. And then I will go ahead and turn this over and then just kind of eyeball it. Make sure this one looks super duper close there. So I'm just going to make sure my card is not quite lined up there. So let me see if that's better. And I'm going to run it through my Platinum 6 here on the side. Okay, here is my soft inking of my press plate. So see how soft that is. Now when I did it with the gray with Spellbinders ink, it was a little deeper than this. So I'm wondering if I should ink it again. You know what? I'm not going to ink it again. I'm going to go with this because I'm wondering how this is going to look with this softer look to it. I kind of like this. So I'm going to go ahead, but this is how it looks with this soft gray ink, the alloy ink. And isn't this pretty the way this comes over and this just kind of hugs the bottom here, and then it really sets off the sentiment. And we'll add some gems maybe to kind of complete the circle and just embellish it a little bit. Let me put my BetterPress away and grab my stencil mat, and I will be right back. Okay, now this color combination I've gone with is quite bright. I've got my Dip and Dab pouncers here. Now these come in a pack of 4. And I want to remind everyone, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but I do have a 15% discount code for all LDRS products, and it is MELANIE15. So any of these things that you see, that is available down in the description below. But these Dip and Dab pouncers come in 4 packs, and I just put little enamel dots on, and I bought 2 packs. I have 2 packs. I have 2 packs of these, and I just put the little enamel dots on them and have 1 for each color of the rainbow. And that's just the way I keep them organized. I don't have 1 for every color. I just think this is the more economical way of doing it for me. So that's what I've done here. So I've got my red, my green, and my yellow, which are the colors we're going to use. I'll grab the stencil set. It's the Wildflower Wreath stencil, and it's 3 layers. So we'll just grab number 1 and we'll line it up. And since I tilted it, it's tilting, of course, because remember I tilted the plate. And we are going to have to mask some here because these flowers are going to be different colors. So I am going to have to mask, and I am going to have to tape down the stencil because the stencil is the same size as my paper. So I am going to do that as well, just as a precaution, because it doesn't have a whole lot of place there for the Altenew mat, sticky mat, to hold my stencil in place. So let me line this up really carefully. We want a good line up here. And we're going to tape that down to our sticky mat so it doesn't move around. And just for good measure, I'll go ahead and put a little tape on the bottom as well. Okay, now let's do the red first. So I am going to go ahead and just mask the yellow here like so. I hope I can do that. I'm going to do it in 2 parts. I'm going to do it this way and this way, just to make sure I get all of it, because there's a couple little dots right here I don't want to miss. So I'm going to do this red portion first. And I've got 2 reds here. I'm using Kiss Me Red and Scarlet Rose. So the Kiss Me Red is the lighter, so I'm going to start with that. These all have a little holder. So I'm going to just pounce off up here just a little bit. And then I'm just going to lightly pounce on my flowers and get a light dusting of color. Like so. Okay, masking and put it right here. And do this bottom section at the same time. I know it looks like a hot mess at the moment, but that's okay. I'm going to tear a little piece right here because there's a little tip right there of red or of yellow. I do not want to get red. So I'm just being extra careful. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do the rest of this color while we're at it. All right, so get the rest of those red flowers while we're here. This is so relaxing. I love the pouncers because of how relaxing they are. And if you need a little bit more ink, you can come in here and grab it right off your stencil and just okay. And then I will cover that up. So next we'll remove these masks, and we will mask off the red. There we go. And one there. And one there. Okay. So now we're going to mask the red and do the yellow. You may run into the same thing here as we did before, where I have to kind of do it in two parts. Yeah, because I do not want any of that red ink coming through either. So we'll do that like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and mask the bottom at the same time. I'm done with this color, so I'm going to move it out of my way so I don't make a mistake. Now this yellow that I'm using is Banana Cream Pie. And I'm going to go ahead and change over to my yellow pouncer. And I'm going to carefully, because I'm scared I'm going to get red in this. Any red in this yellow. I probably should have done the yellow one first. I'm just going to pounce on a light yellow here, staying away from that red ink. And yes, I could have taken the stencil off and cleaned it first. What's the fun in that, right? Okay, so there is that. Okay, a little bit more right there. All right, so let's remove this guy off of here before any accidents happen. So I'm covering that ink and moving it out of our way. So now we will get Stencil 2. And Stencil 2 has little etchings in it where the part is that you just stenciled. So it helps you with lining it up, because those will line up and then you will be able to line up the other ones a little easier. So that helps. So let's line this up and tape it down. Make sure I have no ink on my fingers. And then we're going to use fresh tape, and we will tape off that red this time. We'll do the yellow first. We will do this one up here, which is a little easier this time. So now we can do the yellow, and we're doing the darker yellow, which is lantern yellow. And so we'll take some of that. Okay, and we'll go in and make these areas the darker yellow. And it also makes this little seed pod down here the darker as well. And I'm going in pretty heavy-handed, so there is a difference noticeable. Alrighty, so I can take this off and move it down. Okay, that's not sticking right there because I reused that one mask. So I'm just putting an extra piece of tape on there so it will stick. Okay, covering up my yellow and removing it from the scene. Grabbing out my darker red. Grab my red pouncer back. And now we will do our darker red. Easy peasy. Okay, closing up that red and removing our stencil. Then stencil number 3 is the centers of the flowers and the leaves. So I will get that in place I'm going to put my red pouncer away. Get my light green out, and I'm using key lime and 4-leaf on these greens. Let me get my stencil, take my stencil down, make sure it's lined up really well, and this is mainly the leaves that you're lining up because everything else will fall into place. Okay, and there's really not any masking on this one, but I am going to mask off this side here so I do not accidentally ink my paper. So I'm going to do that just as a precautionary, and I might just put my finger right here just so I don't get that center. And this is a yellowy green that I'm using here for the light. That's all we're going to do there. It's okay if it's light and dark. Then we will go ahead and do the darker green. And on this, I am literally going to just touch a tad right there. Just tapping a little bit right there. Maybe just a tiny bit more because that one's bigger, but that's it. That's all I'm doing because this is a very strong color. So now for the centers, I think I'm going to go black. So let me just use a blender brush here and we will just give this a shot. I think I might want this one brown though, but I'm going to do this one black and then this one and this one black. I think we'll just do that and we'll see what it looks like. Living on the edge here, people, living on the edge. All right, and then for that, let me grab a brown. We will use a brown here. There we go. I like that. Okay. All right, let's peel and reveal. Look at there. Okay, covering up the brown ink. Let's not mess it up. All that masking and being careful, and we don't want to mess us up here, people. There is our project for today. All I have to do is add it onto a white card base, add some gems, which I'll show you the gems that I've pulled out here. I've got them right here. Got some little crystals, so let's go ahead and do that super quick. So let's put them, let's place them where we might want them. Let's see. Let's put some the heavier one down here because of the weight. How about we do that? We'll put that one there, and I got these yellow, and they kind of reflect the red too. And then we'll just get lighter as we go up. Let's see, maybe we'll put this one over here. Let's see, how's that? I think that'll be pretty. All right, grab my glue. We'll just put these on here real quick. Done. And there is our finished card for today. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this video. I will put a picture of the finished card here up momentarily. Here was my first one that I did when I was on vacation, and here's my second one. So it just shows you my ink that I had with me on vacation was a little darker. I kind of like the lighter one. I don't know. So those are my two. I will take pictures and we'll have them coming up here next. Thank you, my friends. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.